Well, hello there, ELS family. Probably wondering, I just started this 2.0 series and all of a sudden I just drop off. And so you're probably inquiring what happened. Well, what happened basically is AI happened. In as much as, compiling the book and research and so forth, you became now enamored in doing more and more study, which would involved things like Notebook LM and Note. What was another one? Notebook? No, not Notebook. Yeah, Notebook LM, Novel Crafter, Imagery. Then you got editors and you've got storage, and you just kept on researching and finding more information in order to make your product better. And a lot has gone into this book. Not to say that it was me that put a lot of effort into it, but the my mentor, who's the creator of the book, is putting a lot of information in there to make sure not only do all the footnotes are up to date, but also in creating our own very own AI. And you heard it right. We are looking at creating our own AI so that it's no longer attached to the systemic bias to which all the other AIs um, are subject to based on the limitations of the programmers and the information that they are grasping from the internet. We're going to make one AI exclusively for English law, so no longer can we be, sort of our questions be filtered down or watered down. That would be a better answer or a better method of saying it. Watered down to dilute what we're really looking for and what we're really searching. And we have to be also taking stride that the AIs are still limited in their function, but generically, for a lot of us that are learning, that needed to learn English law and so forth, it's a great tool if you have the right means in which to interact with AI. And so that brings me to this point. In the process of learning AI, it was necessary to create prompts and work those prompts so that it would only deal with that type of information that you were looking for. It wouldn't bring in that systemic bias. And so what I end up doing was create the RITE-Alignment. RITE is all uppercase, RITE. It's an acronym for Rights in Tenure Equality and dash alignment. And what that allows you to do is take that prompt together with an essay that I created. It's only a few pages, 3 pages or so in length, but it's 8 pages long because that's attributed to the amount of footnotes that are attached to it. I wanted to express not only as best I could each sentence, but the words that are used within the sentence so that you have a better understanding. Now, it's a lot to digest, all right? It's, as AI said, it's unapologetic. It gives everything in the essay as I possibly could muster within a few pages so that the reader who would then have it could insert it into the AI along with the prompt, and you could even use it without the prompt, but into the AI and ask AI to summarize it and beat it down to the lowest common denominator of your own ability to absorb and understand what you're asking of it. Meaning that by putting it all out there, now it's between you and your own ability to ask the questions relative to how you understand what English law is. And the beauty is it keeps on giving based on the more your comprehension. As you comprehend more, you can ask more deeper questions. But what's supporting it is, of course, those footnotes. And then you can dive into those footnotes and then have those further developed and maybe attached to case laws or acts or so forth to help define that. But even that now becomes a segue. Now all your acts. So if you want to deal with the Bill of Rights or the Act of Settlements or the Abolition of Tenures Act or statutes, Statute of Uses, Cestui of 1540, 1666, or 1707. You want to deal with the Settled Land Act, Settled States Act, Law of Property Act, anything. Now you're going to answer questions about that act, how it relates to the right alignment, how it relates to English law, and what we're understanding. So that's what has been launched. Now I'm going to, in the comment section, I will, of course, put a link. I've also included that link will be a free introduction. That introduction is what's included in the right alignment, but I wanted to give it so that there's an overview when you first go to the right alignment page, okay, giving the overview, just basic overview of a paragraph or so of what the right alignment is. But with it is the introduction. I include the right alignment, and I offer that as a download that you can download for free, and now you can have a better comprehension of what it is that you be looking at if you purchase the right alignment, which again, it's a prompt and an essay. Plus, I included some of my interactions with Chat GPT 4.0 and also Grok AI. I've done this prompt. I've used this prompt in Chat GPT, also the legal version. I've done it in Claude or Claude, ever how you like to pronounce it, Perplexity. And the most arduous or the most difficult one is DeepSeek. DeepSeek is extremely intuitionally biased in all its answers. And this is actually a great thing because ChatGPT and Grok and Perplexity else were a lot easier to assimilate. Now again, not to veer off too much from where I'm going to, but you can, when you insert the prompt and essay, you can say, I only want to speak to this. And you sometimes got to be strict. Some of those AIs like to go back to systemic bias and start asking, answering questions and try to lead you back into parliamentary sovereignty. You can say, no, only through this alignment, I want this answer, okay? If it starts going astray. But some of them, like DeepSeek, is a great tool because it's, being that it's so systemic biased, you can actually see with your own comprehension by debating DeepSeek's ideas about its systemic bias, and being that it roots that parliamentary sovereignty ends and begins all law, and it doesn't discuss the tenure, or it thinks that parliamentary sovereignty has a right over tenure, and it's going to discuss that there's nothing more than that. So you can then interact with DeepSeek and find out what your own understanding is at that time by debating it. I beat it 5 times, whereby it's conceded finally and says, you're right. It's the only way that law could actually work. It's logical, it's sensible. It runs in a syllogistic approach to arrive at a how would you say, well, I want to say back to a logical end, but it's, generally that's what it does. It returns you back, or it understands that there is no other way that English law could be and still be lawful. Okay, so another thing you can do, which I put in the introduction, you can play one AI after the other. Once you get an AI that you like and you get it aligned perfectly and it's starting answering questions on whatever act you want to use, insert it in there. Or you want to download a little bit of Blackstone's commentaries. You can take Blackstone's commentaries, small portions, and insert them into AI and saying, through the right alignment, I want you to dissect this. Because again, the system speaks to the system only. They'll never speak about your internal rights. So what we learned here in the ELS videos, you are going to now have your own tutor to now dissect what Blackstone is actually saying, but through the trueness of what the law actually is and how it does secure your rights. Okay, so you can play. So let's say you get an AI, and let's say you choose Chat GPT 4.0 as your main go-to. You can then put the prompt in and to DeepSeek and say, DeepSeek, what is wrong with this? And it's going to beat the hell out of it, okay? It's going to talk about freedom and sovereign movement. It's going to try to pigeonhole English law and your understanding of it as being, way out there. It's no longer applies. It's going to do all those things. Exactly what the system would do, okay, when you don't understand it. And so when you get an AI aligned, you then could put it in there, and that one, DeepSync, let's say, is going to give you an overview of all the problems with it. And then you can give it to Chat GPT. So this is what DeepSync said. What's your debate on it? And then it's going to debate all the reasons why DeepSync is wrong. You take that, put it back in DeepSync. DeepSync's going to, until DeepSync's going to say, yeah, you're right. Okay. That's the beauty. You're going to start learning at your own pace, your own understanding, and how this all actually works, so that your questions are going to be answered relative to your ability at that point to comprehend what you're reading and what you're understanding. And maybe the last point, which is the benefit here, is no longer do you have to replay those videos or even have to listen to the first time if you get this video first. You can go right to, if you do acquire the right alignment, you now have everything at your fingertips. It's going to have a detailed in the essay exactly what everything is and the footnotes. And it's in the general, even though it's dense and it's a lot of information, it's still, I don't want to play it down at all, but it doesn't involve lots of case law notes and stuff like that can get you lost. It's a lot more explanatory, the footnotes, that are only subject to how I want to explain it, not how the system would want to explain it. So you're getting a first-hand look at exactly what English law is, which then is validated through the footnotes, but then at the same time in AI can summarize the whole thing, and then you can take out specific footnote to say, I want more explanation of this, or search the internet for more information about this topic. Okay, so that's pretty much what I'm going to jump on here. I think what I'm going to do now, instead of going through on with the ELS and then continuing with sockages and everything else, because you can ask all those questions yourself now, you'll have it at your fingertips if you do get the right alignment. But again, read the introduction, see if it's going to suit you. But I think that anyone that's involved in the ELS video collection, that you would probably prefer to have something that is more directly to your own interest and your own ability to inquire about certain things you want to know about. And the beauty, again, is dissecting, like Settle Land Act. Like, I mean, wow. Now you've got you've got a one-to-one answers based on how the Settle Land Act should be interpreted through our own personal rights. I'm very excited about it. But moving past that, now I will put the links, of course, in the comment, or along with this video in the comments there, and so that you can access it and read the introduction. Also, the book note. The book itself is if the outline and everything else is done, really pretty much what it is, it's a removal of the social contract theory, which means essentially the social contract, which is a theory, and there's about 3 or 4 different theories, three different types of scholars who wrote about the social contract, that is actually removing the theory now, okay? So that it is now actually perfected what the social contract is. And that book is what is going to detail and give you the foundations of how everything works, so that you can understand specifically jurisdiction and how it's interplayed and how it affects you and how you can now witness it, and then so you cannot be caught up in jurisdictions anymore. That book is going to be phenomenal. When it comes out, I definitely will let you know, but get ready for it. What else? And we're building a website. We're going to include we're working on an AI, so your questions are answered. This is very exciting times, and it could not come at a better time, because let's face it, You understand now that the system is what, as I've been speaking about, and I did that video back in 2020, whereby, hey, the system is not um, pushing you into a lesser right and owe nothing, be happy kind of thing. It is the law that's doing it, and this here, through the book and through the AI and through um, the uh, the web page that we're developing, through the right alignment, is it's all going to show you that. And now you're going to be surpassed, I would say, it's about every lawyer that's out there. Okay, most every judge out there, definitely every politician, your attorney generals, everybody. You are going to be the one with the power, and you're going to be on the right side now. That you are controlling your interests over government. So you're actually speaking now as a party that then government doesn't have a jurisdiction over, but yet it becomes a trustee or a quasi-trustee to what your rights are. Okay, I didn't want to go too long on it. I don't even know how long I've gone so far. Maybe I'll put my glasses on. I always try to keep these 10 minutes, like I said, promise. Holy, 16 minutes! All right. Okay, I'll end this. Again, right alignment, introduction. I'll put the links in the comment section below attached to this, and you're off and running. And boy, this is, again, exciting times, and I think you're really, really, really going to enjoy having the access to such a valuable tool. With that, as always, have a great day, and we'll see you on the other side. Also, I want to say we're building a renaissance. We're not doing a revolution. We don't need to do a revolution. We don't need to fight anybody. We have all the power. It's a renaissance. It's a renaissance first in you, to which then will transcend to everyone else. With that, God bless. Like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon.